Super Mario RPG is one of those mythical Super Nintendo games that I've always heard so much praise for, but I've never actually gone through and beat myself. When I was a kid, I had Paper Mario, and I loved that game. I remember I had the N64 hooked up in the basement at my dad's house, and I just slammed through that thing like 2 weekends. I always loved video games, but it was extremely rare for me to ever play one all the way to the end credits. Most games back then were just too hard for me, so I was usually replaying the first couple levels over and over again. So when I got Pokemon Yellow and Paper Mario, it was insane to me that I could actually progress through the entire game. Paper Mario especially blew my mind. I couldn't believe how much stuff there was in that game. That was by far the most complete and expansive game I had ever played. Playing Super Mario RPG all these years later, I am impressed at how much stuff they were able to fit into a game that is only half as long. The thing about RPGs, especially one from this generation, is that they demand an absurd level of commitment to see them through to the end, which is why when I beat one that I don't like, it seems like the worst game ever made. Even with ones I do like, I'm just daunted at how long they are. I still haven't beat Persona 5. I've been playing that game for 7 years now, and then they put out a new, longer version of the game. Just this year, there was Baldur's Gate 300-hour game, Final Fantasy 60-hour game, Starfield 70 hours, WoW long, 35 hours long, Lies of P, Diablo 4, Octopath 2, Sea of Stars, Fire Emblem, Persona 5 Tactica, Star Ocean, 2 Yakuza's, Trails into Reverie, Mega Man Battle Collection, Hogwarts Legacy, Tears of the Kingdom, 114-hour game, Front Mission, First Remake, Dragon Quest Treasures, Dragon Quest Monsters, Jagged Alliance 3, WrestleQuest, Final Fantasy 7, Ever Crisis, Disgaea 7, Lords of the Fallen, Wise 9, Advance War, Digimon, Dragon Ball, Monkey Ball. There is not enough time in life to play just the RPGs from this year. You kind of just have to pick one and hope that you pick the right one for the next 5 years. I beat this game in 12 hours, which is insane for an RPG. They were rolling the end credits on this before you even get to the good part of Starfield. Because it's such a short game, the pacing is just bam, 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 just a constant barrage of new characters, new songs, new enemies, new boss fights. They could have easily padded this out to be twice as long, but nope. Even though many of the songs are much shorter, this game has just as many tracks as Final Fantasy VI. They got there's a lot of peculiarities that come with being the first and only Mario RPG developed by Square. There are a ton of new faces and bizarre characters you would never expect to see in a Mario game. Geno and Mallow are great companion characters, but even beyond them, characters like Boshi. How come we never see Boshi in Mario Party? Big Yoshi, he comes from this game, but I couldn't actually find him. That was devastating. Booster is great. I can't believe we never saw him again. Karabaskus, man, come on, Nintendo. Why can I not select Karabaskus in Mario Golf? What are you people doing over there? Chained Kong, it's like, okay, obviously they can't bring him back after what he's done, but what about those other guys? There was Dodo, there was Frog Gog, there was Hippopo, the Jawfuls, there was a guy called Johnny the Shark who always had to say everything like a shark. There's a guy called Knife Guy. You fight a booby lady with a bird on her head and a giant sword. Then there's Turbo Trooper. I love this guy because he looks like my baby. The turn-based combat is excellent in this game. I really enjoyed how much trickier it is to get the timing and attacks and blocks down in this one than Paper Mario. You're encountering new enemies faster, attacks and defense require more precise timing, and every weapon you equip has its own attack timing. It makes combat feel more alive, like the timing is just a bonus thing instead of something you consistently rely on. And I like how you don't have to waste turns to swap out dead party members. It's nice to have a team that backs you up when you need them instead of languishing in the limbo realm. And look at this. I love this. I just did like 30 minutes of battling and 5 seconds of gameplay. Give me the XP. The visuals are phenomenal. I mean, look at this. Are you looking at that? Are you looking at what I'm looking at? Come on now. And they throw in some nice cutscenes. The original has such a distinct style, and somehow they've held on to the soul of that look while modernizing it a lot. In terms of storytelling, what do you want me to say? I mean, obviously, you don't get as invested in the world and characters as you would in a huge game like Dragon Quest or Yakuza. It's a super low-stakes goof fest that doesn't talk your ear off. The most interesting stuff is centered around Square's characters and not Nintendo's because they probably wouldn't let them. Although this game did invent Bowser's personality. Not all the Super Nintendo jankiness has been ironed out of this remake, but I think they did a great job overall, so my wish is that this studio would do Earthbound next. Am I right or am I right? Earthbound that looks like this? Come on now, you gotta do it. They won't, but if Square is remaking Live Alive, then Chrono Trigger is inevitable at this point.